So today we're going to take a look at Team Liquid versus BBL on Split, and this was a very hard-fought series between the two teams, but in my mind, BBL basically got comp diffed on Split, and basically a large part of that came down to Chamber versus Cypher, and this was the first couple games that we saw with the new Chamber with only having one trap instead of two, and it came in pretty big. I think it made a pretty big difference, and it definitely cemented my view that certainly now after the Chamber nerf, Cypher is far better than Chamber on Split, and you'll see what I mean in this game, because I think literally that difference kind of cost BBL. And we'll start here with round number 6, which is actually a round that BBL win, but it kind of highlights some of the problems that they had. And so let's take a look at this round. So what we're going to start with from BBL is actually some early B main aggression. They're going to stun here, they're going to get the slow in here, and they're actually going to sage wall pretty aggressively there on B main. And that's kind of how the game starts. And here it is, right? They put the slow down, they get the stun down, they get this wall, and Turco, initially peeks, but then he's just going to jump off after doing that. But what we've got on A here is the Cypher and the Omen kind of lurking up. They put down the Cypher cages and they've got Yampy into this position. Now this is something that BBL can't do. Their comp cannot do this, right? And that's something that they never once had someone pressuring ramp kind of just on their own. And you can see here that AIMDDL has actually put up a one-way there in A main, but actually Yampy is already ahead of it because of the Cypher cages, right? So he's able to actually sneak up here. And what's going to happen is they're actually going to come in vents here and destroy the one chamber trap that's towards vents. And Aslan here, he's going to actually start walking up a bit, and I guess he just sees the barrel of the op here. So he actually starts spamming through the wall and gets the first kill. But now we need to take a look, because obviously their one trap has been destroyed. I need you to take a look at how passive they are, okay? Because now the Omen knows that, oh, someone got past my one way. Someone's actually already snuck up ramp, so there could be more there. So the Omen is playing super passive. The Chamber has just TP'd away, and he has no trap here now, so he's playing super passive. They have no eyes on Heaven either, and the Sage Wall is now gone, so they don't know what's in B main, they don't know what's in Heaven, they don't know what's coming up towards A Heaven, and they don't know what's coming towards A site either. This is like the most passive you can be, because they have no information. And you're going to see the difference in some of the later rounds when Liquid are on the defense with the Cypher instead. And so you can see this just causes a massive, massive problem for them, right? The Chamber has no idea of when he's teleported away. Someone's walking up here, so he goes back as far as he can. The Omen is about as back as far as he can. The Breach finally decides to come back to Heaven, but as we can see, Liquid have walked up there. And so when this Breach peeks round, he runs into two people and dies. Okay, and they're like shocked and they don't know what's going on. And now what's going to happen is we're going to get the Raze. They know someone's in Heaven now. They know there's something there. But the Raze is kind of, have they gone back? We don't know. We don't know what's going on. So they take a peek out as well. Cushion are there and Scream gets that kill. But this is a wild, wild round. Because at this point you're thinking, well, this is probably going to be a Liquid round from here. But the spike, as you can see, is on its way across the other side. But we're actually going to get an Omen ult in here. And BBL are going to win this round off the back of this Omen ult here, because they catch Navera rotating with the spike, and they kill the spike carrier. And so whilst, yes, everything is going well on the site, and actually Scream finds a kill with the Raze ult there on site, and we end up in a 3v2, the spike's just in spawn and there's no time left, right? They just don't have time to run back and actually get the spike. So we end up in this very weird situation where BBL end up winning this round from probably the most impactful Omen ult you'll see, to be honest, in a round of VCT. But yeah, BBL win the round eventually, but we saw there like some of the problems that, everyone was playing super, super passive because they had no information of what was going on, and they were all scared that at different points, a whole Team Liquid team could come walking up on them. And now let's come to round number 8, and this one's going to look much the same, where BBL are pretty confused about what's going on, and it's going to cost them, because actually they have both the Sage Wall and the Chamber Trap in the same location, which I don't really love for them here, but you could see that they were pretty worried about someone coming up ramp, and actually, because Liquid are playing the double control of the Astra and the Omen, which is, a lot of people would find quite weird. One of the reasons that you might want to do that is because it allows the Omen here to actually just put a smoke down, right? Like if you've used these Cypher cages but not really, use them to push up, you can then just actually put a smoke down because you have other smokes waiting for you anyway. So that is exactly what they do. They put this smoke down here. But yeah, I don't love the fact that BBL had both of this Chamber Trap and the Sage Wall in the same location. I do think, that that is a bit of a waste. But what's going to happen is you're going to see Scream is sneaking up into heaven there on the raise, as you can see. He's up here in heaven, but then as soon as he sees just a bit of contact, as soon as there's a bit of a fight and it goes back and forth, straight away BBL are like, oh my god, it must be a B hit, right? They're super worried. They send in an Omen flash as well. You know, they don't have eyes on heaven at this point. They're just really worried that it must be a B hit. But then they actually destroy the chamber trap. But then we get this amazing aftershock, I must say, from Pora. That comes in here and does massive damage to both Link and actually kills Scream as well. Really, really great aftershock. So they even end up in a 4v5 against a save, right? But they just don't know what's going on at all. And so Pora whiffs a bit there and Navarre is able to get him. But then they trade out. Okay, 4v3 against a save. You know, we should still be pretty good. But again, they have no idea what's going on. Look at where these players are, right? Just no map control at all. They're as passive as could possibly be. And so they've just got a kill here. So they, you know, and they got a kill in Vents. So they think, hey, it must be an A play. And then Yampi's actually able to find Turco as well, sneaking up from the other side that he didn't know he would be there because they crossed on A. And got across to the other side, and so then you can see the rotates start coming in, but actually, we're just sneaking off to B instead. And the spike is going to go down B. Now, Kushner kind of suspects it. He turns around, and he thinks, hold on a second. And he kind of suspects it, and he sees Link here, and then he's going to go for the Razor as well. But this is super well played by Liquid, because we get the instant suck from Soulcast and into the Breach Stun, into the Aftershock, allowing them to plant, stopping this Razor completely in its tracks. Really well played on the fly there by Liquid. They get the spike down, and we end up in a 3v3. But again, still, should be pretty winnable. But again, they aren't quite sure where this Omen could be. Could be in quite a few different positions. The Astra could really be anywhere as well. They haven't seen them. So that's going to cause them some problems as well. But we're actually going to get the breach ult from Link from this back pillar. It's going to come across here, as you see, and Soulcast is going to get one kill off that. Then we're just going to go Yampy go kill with Marshall. He's just going to hit another headshot here. I mean, Yampy obviously hitting 2 headshots did help them win this round. There it goes. And we end up in this 3v1 and Liquid win the round. But you can see here the problems that BBL were having. The fact that they basically put that chamber trap in the same place every single round. Liquid would destroy it every round. And that would cause BBL major problems where they wouldn't know what's going on. Kushner is able to find that kill at the very end there. A little exit frag. But other than that, it's a very nice round from Team Liquid to win on a save. But now let's watch the difference with Team Liquid. And let's start on the pistol round. And actually, BBL are going to win this round as well. But you will just see the difference of how it plays out between Liquid and BBL here. Because what's going to happen is essentially Liquid know that no one from BBL can really go A and just kind of lurk on A. They just can't. They don't. No one on their team has the capability of doing it. Okay, and the reason is this: because on this A site, this is a really crucial area, right? That if you can't get past this, well, you kind of can't go A. And the thing is, you can't just have someone look up here without really smoking these choke points off, okay? Because otherwise you can get peeked from 2 angles, right, when you're in this kind of area. And so you're putting yourself in a dangerous position unless you can smoke it off. And that's why we often see the, the Cypher cages come in here, or you even have, the popular sort of Viper wall that comes across here and you put the orb on there, right? It's all about doing the same thing. We saw it obviously with Team Liquid as well. They have the Omen and Astra so that they can actually just smoke this. And the idea is that it allows you to, potentially go anywhere on A and get that early control there. But BBL don't have anyone that can do that, right? They do have the Omen smokes, but are you really going to use like your only smokes to maybe get one person lurking up ramp? Probably not, right? So essentially, Liquid knew this, and so let's take a look, because Navarre's setup here is going to be pretty aggressive. He starts off like this, but he puts down this camera, and as soon as he sees that no one's there, he moves this tripwire, and he just puts it even further aggressively up. And then watch this. They know that no one from BBL is going to come this way. They know that it's pretty unlikely in most rounds because they don't have anyone that can lurk up that way. And so literally the whole of Liquid is going to be on the right side of the map in terms of knowing what BBL are doing. And it's the complete opposite, right, of what BBL had, where they were all completely passive and had no idea. Liquid are certain of what BBL are going to do. But actually, BBL managed to find the kills, right? They catch Soulcast off guard here because they push through the smoke and get perhaps a bit more aggressive than they were expecting. And then they actually go for this fast rotate. But you'll see again that Liquid have a pretty good idea that that's going to happen. And in fact, BBL are going to run into this tripwire as well. But you can see even before they get to the tripwire, Liquid know exactly what's going on and they start rotating as well. But look, they are actually going to win this round. Poor is just going to go massive. He's just going to hit the shots, right? Because as we get this breach stun in here, he misses the stun and you know, now just goes big and gets 2 headshot kills, right? So they end up in a 5v2, and yes, they are going to win this pistol round. But again, you can see some of the differences, right, between the way this was playing out for BBL and how it was playing out for Team Liquid, because Liquid knew exactly what BBL were doing, and BBL had no idea what Liquid were doing. And I really do think that that was a large difference in this map, as we'll see BBL just kind of take these last couple kills here. But I do think that that was the big difference, and one of those reasons why was because they had the Cypher versus the Chamber, and I think that on this map in particular, that is a pretty big deal. And now let's come to round 17, where much of the same thing is going to happen. BBL initially have a sort of idea here of what they want to do. They're going to breach stun up here. They're going to Omen flash down there as well and get the Raze blast packing into heaven. And they're going to try and do a B split. But it doesn't quite go great for them. And I do think that, you know, this can be a bit of a problem at times. You see the Omen flash just miss Scream there. And so a very quick reaction by Soulcast here to put this star down and get the suck there, and Scream's able to find that kill. So they find the first kill, but then look at what's happened. Nevera saw that no one was on A, and so he's put down the exact same Cypher setup on A. And I will say that generally BBL, they did find some attacking rounds in this half. It wasn't a complete domination by Liquid, but generally those rounds came when Nevera actually set up on B instead. That was generally where BBL find their success, and any time that Nevera did this, really, BBL, you know, just lost the round. Because again, look at this. Liquid know exactly what is going on. You know, they just have Link here just sort of watching in case someone does come up vents fast, but other than that, they're all very aware of what's going on, and what they're going to do here is Soulcast is just going to see someone, Yampi's going to flash off that, and then they're just going to absolutely mop up. And yes, they were against a save, but, you know, that was pretty clean, it must be said. And again, it all comes down to that just perfect information of knowing that they are not going to go A. And now let's come to round 20, and guess what? It's the exact same thing. And this actually comes off the back of a Team Liquid timeout. So this time they did have a bit of more A presence here, because they lost a couple of rounds actually when BBL went A and the Cypher setup was on B. So this time they put the Cypher setup on A. Again, they don't see anyone's there early. They have this one way stopping them from progressing into B main early. Put down this Cypher setup, and then look at this. Oh, look, we know they're going B. They must be going B. You know, that's their only option at this point. So let's just rotate everyone over to that site, right? And this, I mean, at this point in the round, even though it looks like very, you know, it's like, hey, it's still 5v5, it could go either way. When you have this many defenders here already on site, BBL were always going to be coming up against it. And they're actually going to Raze ult in onto the site as well. They're about to Raze ult in, but we get this really nice suck into stun combo from Soulcast and Link. And so completely get stunned. Soulcast finds a really nice kill there. And then they're going to nade. They're going to get the one way up as well. But aim DDL actually, you know, TP is in onto the site with the spike. So BBL kind of have no choice. They have to go back towards the site here and, you know, stay with the spike. And so they smoke it off, and Liquid, hey, they're happy for them to plant, right? They're in a 5v4. They get the Aftershock in here as well. They're going to also try and delay it with a stun from the Astra also. And yeah, everything is perfectly fine for them, right? Literally everyone is here, you know, on the B site, ready for it. They're actually going to Astra ult now as well for the retake. They're going to do that little Astra wall there to cut them off. They put a smoke in main as well. And they start finding these kills, right? They're going to breach ult as well down there. And they start just finding these kills. Link gets that one. We start going back and forth a bit, but then they're going to find this last kill as well. And again, it just comes down to the fact that, you know, everyone was there for Liquid straight away. They knew exactly what BBL were going to do. And they played it pretty well and get a nice little round win there as well. And I know what you might be thinking. What happens when that Cypher setup is there on A, but actually they do just decide to go towards the A site? Well, let's take a look at that, because we can come to the very last round, which is round number 22. And what's going to happen here is BBL are going to have the idea to breach stun and Omen flash down here, get the Raze up in here nice and early. And personally, I'm not a massive fan of this, because and you'll see exactly why. Because yes, the Raze can get in here early, and if there is anyone in this kind of area, yeah, they're pretty screwed, right? That can go pretty bad for you. But if there isn't, well, then it's probably not going to go great. And I think this is why the sort of Jet Raze Ascend comp, you know, lasted so long and did so well for as long as it did, because you know, in this kind of scenario, the Jet would be right there with the Raze as well, and so you'd be able to get trades, and you'll see what I mean, that, you know, they are going to do all of this, they're going to stun up, and they're going to flash, and Kushin is going to get in there really early, but then no one's there, and sure, he only has a Spectre, but it's kind of like, you know, he was always in a disadvantaged situation where Navera knows exactly where he's going to be, and Kushina has to, you know, wonder where Navera might be in that instance, so he just dies straight away, and from here, you know, it's going to go as pretty much expected, as Navera has a pretty good idea, almost finds a kill just spamming through here. You can see he hits the chamber down to 5 health there, so he almost finds a kill from that. As they do destroy the trip and try and come into the site, Link finds Pora there. And then actually what we're going to get is, Navera is going to die here, but Scream's going to go blast packing from behind. So Navera dies here, but Scream comes blast packing in from behind them and just goes crazy on them, gets those 2 kills as well. And now we're going to see a pretty funny jump scare here from Yampy. You'll see when he sees, look, he panics. He doesn't expect the Omen to be there, but he's able to find that final kill as well. And Team Liquid win the game over BBL. And I do think that, you know, in general, this was it was a pretty close game overall. You know, both sides had their moments, but I do think that this was basically just a diff of Sentinels, basically. Information diff, if you will, from Team Liquid. And I do think that with the new chamber, look, Split, I think now it's just a Cypher map. You know, Cypher is just the best Sentinel on Split, and this game kind of just confirmed my sort of fears for Chamber on this map in particular, which, you know, isn't a great op map either. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more and more teams going towards Cypher on Split.